Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast, the only podcast about Am I the Asshole subreddit with a lovable co-host named Sarah. How are you today, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. I mean, we've got winter storms here on the East Coast, folks. Stay warm because it is snowing cats and dogs. Now, you don't hear that very often. So they don't say that, do they, Sarah?
Because nobody says that. But I will say, I don't know, I'm scared because the weather report says we could get up to as much as 22 inches.
That's
I like
a lot
to believe
of snow.
That's not possible.
That's a lot of snow. I think they should come up with a phrase, because if it's raining cats and dogs, It should snow sheep and Samoyeds.
Yeah,
that's
that tracks.
fun, people, because they're white and fluffy. Get it?
Yeah, honestly, that tracks. I'll let the weatherman know.
Thank you. Alert the presses. I've done it again, people.
Legit.
Big news today. Sarah and I did the Keith and the Girl 24-hour live show. Be sure to check all that out. The Keith and the Girl world is a wonderful one. In the sort of wake of that, somebody tweeted at me that they were seeing me the first time because it was videoed live. This person called me a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, oh my
Sarah,
gosh.
what say you?
Wow. I mean, listen, print that out, put that on your fridge. I would, keep that with me until I die.
A 10.
That's the high. It truly is the highest compliment.
And let me tell you, though, and this is what I'm talking about, there's a lot of disrespect out there. Someone else had to come in and go, well, you're a cutie. No, I'm a 10. Don't look at me. Only kidding, of course, but it was a wonderful compliment to get. So let's go now to the update with your boy. Do we have a code name for him?
No,
Hinge
we
boy?
need to think of something, though.
We need a code name. All the updates about him are related to Instagram, so I'm ready to call him Insta Boy.
Yeah, but I feel that's misleading because we didn't meet through Instagram.
Is he a Hinger? What is he?
Yeah, we met on Hinge.
Hinge Boy, here we go. Now, Hinge Boy, last we heard, we've got mutual follows on Insta. We've got the Insta Deep Stalk, which actually preceded the mutual follows.
Yes.
Then you conceded that you've been seeing each other for roughly 10 dates, 10 hangs, and the fuckboy Cliff is right around the corner.
I mean, now I'm getting nervous because I feel like our texting dynamic has been a little bit weird today. But all I really mean by that is I feel like I've been maybe driving it. And by that, I really just mean he didn't respond to my last text, but it didn't necessitate a response. So I'm probably overthinking it.
Interesting. So now are you at a DTR? Are we within shooting distance of a DTR? Define the relationship.
The problem is that if I put this out there on a podcast, I'm going to just jinx it.
Okay.
But it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. I think it could happen. I mean, he got me flowers on Friday for literally no reason. I thought that was really sweet.
No reason.
Yeah, I wasn't even having a bad day or anything. So I thought that was really sweet. And he got me my favorite flowers, which he had asked me what they were beforehand and remembered.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought it was really nice.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
no one's ever done that for me before. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Why is it that women love to eat flowers so much? I'll never understand it, but
what?
well, that's great. So, that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a weird text vibe today, but it's probably nothing.
I'm probably just overthinking it. I'm sure I'm overthinking it.
Sure.
But you can't help but overthink it.
Yeah, well, I'm feeling good. I feel flowers. That shows a lot of intent, a lot of thoughtfulness. I feel like there's serious investment there if he's getting you flowers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just defaulting to anxiety mode because it's all I know. But yeah, I think it's going really well, and I don't know. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously it's hard to know on these things, but that does anxious came to my mind. And did you ever do the test? Now, are you anxious avoidant? Talking about the attachment
They don't really have that in the book. I was definitely more avoidant than anxious.
Sure.
I don't remember my exact breakdown, but
right. Well, I have some updates in my crush zone.
All right.
Things have been pretty great. She came over. We were having a great time. Thursday, I don't know if you guys know, I work in like cryptocurrency and kind of financy vibes.
Oh my God.
And so everyone is super into the, you know, the GameStop thing and the stock market thing. And we're all talking about it at work all day. And it's just very distracting. And so the next day, you know, we're like hanging out and I'm still like kind of checking Reddit and stuff. And I was just kind of sucked into it. And this kind of led to some tiff vibes. She was kind of like, I feel like you're not paying attention. And we kind of had a little conflict there. And I was bad. I was being bad about it. I was being a phone checker. And so I finally just decided to turn off my phone.
Whoa.
Just turn the damn thing off. And it's crazy when you do that. There's like 20 minutes where you still reach for it.
Yep.
You're like,
100%.
phone. But once I did that, it was a great time. We actually got Shake Shack. We played some Scrabble. I got my highest Scrabble score of all time. I am actually quite good at Scrabble, people. I'm good at very little. So let me have this one.
What was the word?
What was the word? Well, I think the best word I played strains, which that's fun. That's a little topical. Coronavirus strains. That's a seven letter word, meaning
God.
it has a 50-point bonus.
Too soon, Danny.
It is too soon. It was too soon. But yeah, it was a great time, and I don't know, we're really having a lot of fun together. It's moving very quickly, but we're talking a lot about why that's happening, and I think we're being very conscious and aware. I'm also being very guarded this time around. I was careful last time about posting last time anything identifying, because I just didn't want my ex to potentially see that on social media.
Yeah.
This time, I'm being even more careful. I'm really not showing her to anyone, and it's really not about her or anything, because I think she's incredible, but I just don't want to introduce that element for a while, because I think when you do that, it can kind of bias your own emotions.
How so?
And so I'm... because you start to link your identity with that person, and then it just gets to be a more complicated thing. And it's like, I just sort of want us to develop us for now. And then, you know, when the time is right, I think I'll be more comfortable sharing with friends and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. I'm definitely at that stage where I kind of want to like do the introduce the friends thing. But in coronavirus, it makes it more difficult.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to be very conscious and aware and slow. And, you know, we have a lot of conversations about just being aware about what's going on. And some of those have been upsetting too. But ultimately, like, I think we're kind of navigating it in a pretty mature way, because I think a lot of people, and probably this is the worst in cities like New York, you know, right away, we're shifting to being each other's kind of primary people, you know, the number ones, you know, because that's it. Who else am I hanging out with, you know? So, and I think that creates a lot of intensity very, very quickly. So, yeah, I think it's just being aware and talking about it, because you don't want to, like, I don't know, just, you know, you don't want to go ape shit fast with someone, and then you're getting married in Vegas, catching coronavirus strains, and you don't want that.
You don't. You definitely don't.
So, but it's been fun, and we actually were working on our V-Day trip. Took a couple days off.
Nice.
Did the old PTO. Excited about that. Haven't used PTO. Ye old PTO.
That's funny.
Paid time off, for people who don't know the acronyms of that. I didn't use any PTO. I don't think I used a single day of PTO in 2019.
That is
what
unhealthy.
Sarah, I've made this mistake like 3 times. I keep referring to last year as 2019.
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting it's 2021, mostly because it's just a continuation of 2020. Like, nothing has changed.
It so is.
Wait, that's not good, because I had realized in August I hadn't taken a single day off, and I was like burnt the fuck out.
Yeah, it's just tough. I don't know where I want to go. Like, I want to go to the sun, but it's like, how am I going to get to the Bahamas? You know what I mean? I can't. So,
yeah,
you know, I really, honestly, I did this in December of 2019, I believe it was. Might have been 20. You know what? It actually was 2017. Oh my God, I'm 31. I'm so old. Anyway, we went on a cruise, a Royal Caribbean cruise to the Bahamas from New York.
Wow.
And it's literally most of the time at sea, but like, I love it. I love just waking up and looking out the cruise window, and it's just you, and it's just straight up vibes out there. You know what I mean? Just looking at the ocean, breathing that ocean air, and then it's all you can eat 24/7. And that is the kind of just rejuvenating / trash my body trip I am ready for right now.
I mean, that sounds great. Yeah. You're not talking about for like Valentine's Day though. You just mean in general?
Oh no, I think we're like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're either going to go upstate or maybe even just go to the city, because you can stay in like 5-star hotels or 4-star hotels. Don't at me for like $150.
Nice. No, I was definitely thinking of broaching the topic of like a staycation, but then I was like, I don't know, we could also just stay at home and not risk COVID.
Wow, that's the most Sarah thing you've Sarah'd in some time.
Thank you very much.
Staycation? How about stay right the fuck here?
I mean, it's
How
just
about
like,
that?
what's the difference?
Oh my God, it's so fun, Sarah. Don't be that way. Go get a hotel in the city. It's a lot of fun. And you're in a new neighborhood and you're in a hotel room and you get to mess up all the sheets. And, you know, it's a new setting. It's much more exciting. It's fun.
I'll ponder it. I can broach it.
Damn.
I guess it just, I mean, I don't know. I could bring it up.
Broach. It's a blast. Do it up. Do it big.
Okay.
Stay on Central Park. What does he do? Is he in finance? Get that Central Park suite.
Advertising.
Advertising, hell yeah. You got to say, hey, we got to get the 5-star. 5-star. Central Park bordering, and not the windows with the city view. We want the park view. Don't even joke. You think I want to look at 5th Avenue? Fuck you. Then find someone new on Hinge.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, we got one heck of a juicy yet, but first we're going to play a little bit of Guess the Verdict. Here we go. Would I be the asshole for writing a bad review of my friend's short film inspired by my mental illness?
Oh my God. Why are you writing reviews of a movie? Is this person a movie critic? That's not a word.
These are good questions. These are very good questions.
But then that would be like a conflict of interest, I would think, to review your own friend's movie. I'm going to still, I don't see Reddit going YTA on this. I would go NTA.
NTA is correct.
Woo!
Well, technically it's not, because it was a would I be the asshole, and so they actually wrote YWNBTA.
Okay,
but
Danny.
we're gonna give it to you. Judges, it's just a panel of people who look exactly like me. Yes. Okay. OP has agoraphobia. Her friend, awkward, created a film about agoraphobia, loaded with what OP describes as inaccuracies. Now, friend did ask OP for an interview. OP declined, which they didn't really go into, which I thought was a little odd. I'm like, why would you decline? You had an opportunity to shape the film, and yet you turned it down. OP then confronted her that the film was poorly researched at some point. It wasn't really clear to me when in the process that was, but I guess that was at like the end of the writing process. Apparently OP reviews art in the school blog, whatever, artistic creations, etc.
Yeah.
And yeah, they wrote a scathing review calling it poorly written and medically inaccurate, even taking some shots at the plot, calling it cliched, etc. Top comment said, you told her not to do it. She did. You should acknowledge the conflict of interest, though. So good eye on that, Sarah. Potential journalism master's student right there. And and then OP said that they would update the review and note the conflict of interest.
Interesting. Stakes are pretty low. It's a school blog. It's not that serious.
Very true.
Okay. AITA for calling out my niece's excuse for wearing a thong around the house when she was staying over with us.
Wow, this evoked right away. Degrassi flashed in my mind.
Oh,
where
yes.
She walks
Wow,
around
Danny,
school in the
deep cut.
G-string.
Good job.
Whew, that was like... So, what is the crime here? Calling out the niece?
Calling out the excuse for wearing a thong around the house when staying with us.
Damn, this is intense. Calling out. Well, what the fuck would the excuse be for wearing a thong around the house? Oh, I'm so bad at this. All right, women wear thongs. Thongs are underwear. Why would this underwear? Because it hurts. There's some kind of hurting. And then he's an ignorant man. Fuck men. Yes, I'm gonna go with fuck men, which means YTA.
You are correct.
Yes, I knew it. What? Default to fuck men.
There we go. You're right. Okay, so the niece is 19. She's staying with OP's family while her parents figure out some family stuff. So the niece wears, so I was like, this girl's just walking around the house in like just a thong and no pants. I would have honestly gone NTA, but she is wearing a thong like kind of above her jeans. If like the jeans are low rise, basically.
So what does that mean? She's showing off the thong, not her butt.
It's like a whale tail. Like the top of the thong is sticking out.
You keep using other terms I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know you didn't know the whale tail. That was like a big deal in middle school.
A whale tail is
Google
the tail
it.
of a whale.
Think
Google
about it. Think about the imagery.
You're not seeing her booty. You're just seeing the fact that she's wearing a thong.
It's like you're seeing the top of the thong.
So it's actually not very revealing. It's revealing of the fact, okay, the 90s whale. Oh, no, that's hot as fuck. The picture here on Wikipedia is very hot.
Good to know,
But
I
you're
guess.
right. You don't really see the boot. Well, this is very... Now there's Madonna with her pants down completely. See, this is very confusing.
Anyway, so the OP was like, OP tells the niece, while it's not my place to tell you what to wear, outside, when you're with us, please make sure you're covered up a little. And she did not listen and basically said, it's comfortable. And she tells the uncle to take a chill pill. And then the uncle, actually, I don't know that it's not the aunt, whatever, they called her out. So, she said, no one thinks they're the most comfortable thing. You're wearing them to feel sexy, and that's great, but let's be respectful. So the top comment was, in fact, YTA, how is it 2021 and we still carry the dumb stereotype that thongs are trouble and only for when women want to feel sexy? Many, many women wear thongs because they are far more comfortable under tight-ish pants. And that is fine, and I can get on board with that, but I will come for the niece here. And that is because nobody's wearing jeans around the house to feel comfortable. I'm sorry. That is unrealistic.
That's a great point.
And that is a complete lie.
That is a great point. You're right. Nobody would do that.
Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, look, just to, like, degender this, I like to walk around with no shirt on, and it's my house, and I'll do that. But if I was staying somewhere, it's not like me walking around is offensive or anything, but they're like, hey, can you put a shirt on? You're at our house. I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Or even, like, I feel
it's like
when I was in middle school, like, the boys would always wear their boxers pulled up over their pants. Literally the same thing. I don't know. I wonder if the aunt or uncle in question would have said anything if it was a boy doing what I just described. I have a feeling not.
Interesting.
Whatever, though.
Guys, this is a friendly reminder to rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate that. Hop on over there to iTunes, the podcast app. Give us a little review and a rating. We actually got a positive review recently, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much, dear listener. I have been, as you know, attacked by many, and it was nice to read something positive. Join us on Patreon as well. We're doing the call-in show, and it's a lot of fun.
Danny, where can they join us on Patreon?
Patreon.com/AITAPOD.
Great.
By the way, the review said, love this podcast. Each episode, it grows on me more and more, quite possibly because of Danny's complex love life. Highly entertaining.
Love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Back to Best Guess the Verdict. And I'm sorry that interrupted Guess the Verdict, but I forgot to put it in earlier. AITA, Sarah. AITA for preventing my mom from going on a vacation while watching my dog.
Not the asshole, and she is.
You would think, by the way, it's 1-to-1 people here, so this is big. You would think, but you would be wrong, Sarah. That's the thing about it. That is the thing about it. Now, here is the dealio. Mom is sick. She's very sick. OP left puppy with her for 1 week. And let me tell you something. OP did veritable DD due diligence on this. He said, Mom, are you sure? And Mom said, yes, I'm sure. The dog is family. Are you really sure? It's no problem. I could put the dog in a dog hotel. She said, yes, I'm sure. It's fine. They'll put the dog in a dog hotel. Sure enough, sister from the same mister invites Mom on a 2-day trip. Ugh. Mom then calls OP. I want to go on the trip. I want to go on the trip. Get this, Sarah. You're not even ready. OP says no, obviously, because she agreed to care for the dog, and she gave him 4 hours of notice. How the hell are you supposed to get a replacement in 4 hours? But I never even heard about this. This dog, who is a puppy, will not pee inside. Simply refuses to pee inside.
That's good.
And you think it's good, except if you leave the dog and he pees inside, he'll hurt himself not peeing. That's how much he
Aw.
won't pee inside. Mom then called OP ungrateful, and selfish. Top verdict,
Wait, so
ESH.
how is OP not the asshole? Not the
Well,
asshole.
I'm telling you right now, the top verdict was ESH because they're traveling. Lots of traveling. OP was traveling. Mom wanted to travel. So it was a coronavirus kind of verdict.
That's like a cop out. That's not fair.
Yeah, it was the top voted though. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think OP's necessarily the
I feel like people are just
but-
taking this so far. Like it'll be like AITA for like not letting the woman in front of me at the grocery store when I was in a rush, and people will be like, "Oh, ITA for going to the grocery store." It's like, okay, relax.
Right.
It's not material, but fine, whatever. I accept I didn't get it right.
Yes.
AITA for not rehiring the nanny we fired over a misunderstanding.
Oh, Sarah, this sounds very familiar. I feel like I might have encountered this before.
Damn it.
I'm going to go with my gut and say NTA.
You're wrong.
God damn it, this is my chance.
Snap. Okay. Wow. Okay. Here's what happened. OP has a 17-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter, and OP hired a nanny. The nanny watches the kids and also their 11-year-old nephew. Anyway, a couple of days ago, OP got home early. OP noticed a can of Smirnoff Ice in the trash.
We totally have done this. Haven't we done this?
No, this is from like 17 hours ago.
Oh, damn. Sounds familiar. Go on.
No, okay, I remember what you were talking about, but that was like the girl accidentally drank like a Bud Light seltzer or like some kind of seltzer that she didn't know was alcoholic.
I knew it was seltzer related too. Crazy.
I know.
Okay, go on.
You're right. Okay, so then she finds a seltzer. She asks the daughter, like, what's the deal? And the daughter is like, oh, no, the can wasn't mine, but I did hear the nanny opening up a can earlier today when I was walking by the kitchen. The nanny says it wasn't hers. They fire the nanny anyway, and then it comes out via the nephew that, in fact, the can was the older daughter's. Now, here's the crazy part. The older daughter said it would be humiliating to have to admit fault to the nanny and begs the mom not to rehire her. And the mom, like, agrees. So that is why the top verdict is YTA. I know, big fat boo. YTA not for not rehiring her, but for not apologizing and making your daughter apologize. So it's cool if she just goes through life not taking responsibility for her actions because it's humiliating. I actually think OP is also the asshole for not hiring her back because it's completely OP's fault. That woman is probably dependent on that income. It also, I think, is probably really hard to get another job if you've been fired from your previous job, especially for something like that. So I'm going to go that she's still the asshole.
This is so unjust.
Yeah,
so
right?
Unjust.
Justice for nanny.
Justice for nanny. Justice for nanny. Guys, a friendly reminder to rate, review, and subscribe. By the way, Sarah and I tied there on Guess the Verdict. So.
Off my game.
Well, we got one heck of a juicy ep for you today. Our second story of the day, AITA for forcing my brother-in-law to hold my baby, his nephew, just for a bit while I was folding laundry and traumatizing my brother-in-law. Wow.
Ew.
But first, AITA for not serving my wife breakfast, lunch, and dinner when she demands.
Oh, boy.
Wow. About 6 months ago, my wife and I decided to split household duties. Totally her idea. I'd been cooking a lot, and basically she said she hated cooking and figuring out food, and if I kept doing it, she would be happy to take on the majority of housework cleaning. We tried it and thought it went well, so we kept doing it. Easy enough. On to the issue. I started cooking in bulk. On Saturday and Sunday, I make one giant meal each day in our Instant Pot and portion out the remainder of food into serving-sized Tupperware. Basically meal prep. I've also stocked the fridge each week with lots of jellies, meats, and cheeses, and the pantry with lots of snacks and bread for quick sandwiches. Damn, I'm getting hungry.
As you do, we get it.
Now, during the day, she'll randomly come into my office and tell me, quote unquote, I'm hungry, and want me to make her food. I tell her all the sandwich options and all the leftovers that would take her 2 minutes to heat up, and she'll just roll her eyes and leave, which I think is rude. We got into an argument yesterday where she told me I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. She wants breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks served to her throughout the day. Whoa.
Oy.
I told her that if I'm making myself lunch or dinner, I'll make some for her, but I'm not going to drop everything to stand at a microwave for 2 minutes when she's capable of doing that herself. I don't tell her when I think something needs to be cleaned, you know? Anyway, she thinks I'm being a jerk, and I think she's acting childish, AITA.
Wow. So I don't want to spoil it, but there is a surprise twist coming, but let's just pretend we're ignorant. The thing is, I just feel like no division of labor that I've ever seen includes, yes, you will also prepare and serve me the food on demand, even if you're taking care of the cooking.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a stretch. That seems like a butler kind of role.
Right. It's one thing to be like, all right, I'll do the laundry and, I don't know, take out the trash and you'll cook for the week. But I've never seen it be like, and you're going to be available at my beck and call when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I mean, she does seem ridiculous, and it's like, how much easier really can it be? I mean, it almost takes less effort to just make the food than to go bother OP. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree.
Hope W, right.
So here's where the twist comes.
Yeah, okay, so how did people figure out the twist? Well, Hope W writes, y'all are missing out on the fact that she works full-time, does the other chores, and has a newborn. This guy cooks 2 meals a week and expects that to cover part of their agreement to cook meals. He's an effing loser who doesn't want to support his wife and child. So how...
Dun, dun, dun. They must have gone into the post history.
No way.
Or like they just read his comments.
Oh my God. How could he hide something like that? What a criminal.
Seriously. It's like, wow.
Okay, let's see.
Because he painted, like, initially when I was reading this, I was like, okay, she's obviously the asshole. That is some, like, absurd, entitled behavior.
Okay, this guy is an asshole.
Yep.
Final edit he wrote on Reddit. So he actually outed himself.
Yep.
I've noticed an uptick in NTA comments, and I don't want anyone to get downvoted because they didn't see my comments. We also have a newborn that she's been doing 95% of the care for, as well as breastfeeding.
Wait, as well as what? Sorry.
As well as breastfeeding. So she's breastfeeding the newborn as
My boob
well. So
stands.
she's literally making some of the meals. She's making some of the meals, you freaking liar. She's making the meals for the baby.
This guy is, like, truly a criminal. Like, imagine just having the gall to be like, I'm gonna conveniently craft a narrative and then turn the internet against my wife so that I don't have to get up off my ass and hit the reheat button on the microwave.
Yeah, exactly. His own argument works against him. And this is something we've been talking a little bit around for a while about, like, if you don't go to therapy ready to, like, actually dig into shit and, like, give the full story and, like, really kind of explain what's going on and look inward, you can easily craft a narrative where you look good and people will pat you on the back for how good you are, just as Sarah and I initially were.
Indeed.
So I think we agree, AITA for not serving my wife breakfast, lunch, and dinner when she demands it. A big fat YTA for this little liar.
I feel like we need to do like a double YTA because he's the asshole for doing this in the first place. And he's also the asshole for trying to craft this savvy narrative.
Double YTA on grounds of savvy narration.
Thank you.
And not making a damn microwavable snack. AITA for forcing my brother-in-law to hold my baby, his nephew, for a bit while I was folding laundry. While I, 25F, was around 6 months preggo, my husband, 25M, was furloughed from his job. We moved into his brother's, 38M, house. So OP's 25, her husband's 25, and then her brother is 13. His brother, husband's brother, is 13 years older at 38. Now, his brother is fairly well off, but I'm not exactly sure what he does for a living, but he's mostly just in his office from 8 to 8, 12-hour workday. Brutal.
That is brutal.
I don't really interact with him. But I do appreciate that he let us move in while we were in a tight spot. Now, when we moved in, he made it a hard rule, quote, that I will have nothing to do with the baby, so don't expect anything from me, but otherwise y'all can have free reign of the house. That was around 5 months ago. Wow. Okay. That's still a pretty good deal.
Rough.
It's a little intense thing to say. Brother-in-law actually doesn't really interact with any of his nieces or nephews. Sister-in-law's kids, 4 of them, all under 10. as my husband told me. But he does send them gifts for birthdays and stuff. Just definitely not an involved uncle.
Okay.
Skip to now, we have a beautiful baby boy. Brother-in-law stayed true to his words, not wanting anything to do with his nephew. Like I said, he's mostly in his office. Husband thankfully landed a job in the same field as his last job about a week ago. Even better, he's able to work from home. So we're set to move and we can save up a little more. He was working when everything went down. Yesterday, I was folding laundry. My son was getting fussy and wanted to be held. And at that moment, my brother-in-law came out of his office to grab something. I asked him if he could just quickly hold his nephew while I finished folding up laundry. He casually just says, "Nah, I'm good," and started to walk away. I admit I got really freaking mad at that point. Like, he can't even help for a minute while I finish up folding laundry. So I picked up my son and walked over to brother-in-law and placed him in his hands and said, "Just help out. It's just a baby. It won't kill you or anything." My yelling upset my son, so he started crying. He handed me back my child.
That's not a good picture.
No, it's not. He handed me back my child and very coldly said, "I told you, I'm good." And then he quickly retreated to his office. I was left really confused, and my husband came out of the room he was working in to see what all the commotion was about. I explained what happened, and he just starts freaking out and said I shouldn't have done that, and he goes out to talk to his brother. My husband is now demanding I apologize to brother-in-law and explain something no one has ever told me. Apparently, he had a wife 10 years ago who passed during childbirth, and the child passed due to other complications. Brother-in-law never got over it. My heart sank. I asked why I was never told this, and all he said was, "My brother's a private guy, and it wasn't any of your business knowing his past. Please just apologize." But I wasn't able to. He hasn't come out of his office or room, and my husband leaves food at his door. So I want some outside perspective. AITA for forcing my brother-in-law to hold his nephew, but accidentally opening a pretty bad scar.
Whoa. Okay.
Yikes.
I'll try to empathize with OP and see her side for a bit, because I do think that it is very weird to not want to interact with your own nieces and nephews, like, at all. And that would strike me as cold.
Cold, bizarre, unusual, strange, inhuman. Sure.
All great synonyms, Danny.
I mean, it is. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's very odd. He's in his little room all day doing his little workings, and no one knows what he's up to. But you know, this MF put you up for 5 months. Are you kidding me? 5 months. You know, but you need more, OP. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Right. And
it
would be one thing if, like, let's say she spilled hot coffee on herself or something and needed to like deal with it. But folding the laundry is not an emergency. Also, it takes a while. It's not like, oh, hold him for a minute while I just quickly do this emergency. It's like, oh, entertain my baby now because I'm folding laundry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's very difficult to side with OP much beyond that. I mean, I guess, you know, she had some kind of concept of, I can nurture a nurturing in him, and this will, because why was she so emotional, by the way? I can't think of a worse way for her to also move her little agenda, right? Honestly, the whole way this went down, OP seems to have some baggage that she needs to fess up to, because, like, look, brother-in-law has a right to not fuck with his nephews and nieces. He does.
Yeah.
He
I
doesn't
guess
wanna fuck
it's
with
just
them.
uncommon, and, like, I can see her just not getting it all, not understanding it at all, and, like, I don't know, though.
Yeah, well, not understanding is valid. Asking questions is fine, but she's not asking questions. She's getting emotional. Why is it so emotional for you? The whole way this goes down is also very inappropriate. I mean, I personally don't like to hold a baby, because if you drop a baby, you murder the baby. So it's like,
same.
if I'm handed a baby, I'm like upset already. I want to be sitting down on a couch. I don't even want it to be possible for the baby to be dropped. Like, I want it to be a whole kind of thing. So I really don't like the way this even went down. Right? Where is it? She's folding laundry. Son's getting fussy. And then she gets, quote, really freaking mad, right? Completely gets emotional. I don't know why, just because, like, this was the rule. He established it. He'd established it for a long time. And then he, like, hands it to her while the baby's crying.
She made him cry because she was yelling.
Because she said,
but
quote,
also,
my
like,
yelling upset my son. My yelling upset my son. What is that? That's not okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the other thing is the way that she said it was, it sounds pretty accusatory, too, because she's like, just help out. It's just a baby. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Is he not helping out enough for you?
Exactly. It is a little cold. There's no way around that. But like, and I've had to learn this. I think warm people can take cold people as hostile. But there's a big difference. There's a big difference, and it's hard to suss out the difference. But
For sure.
because I do that, and I go, oh, this person hates me, and then I gotta go. They don't hate me. They just don't really emote positively, and that's okay. That has to do with them, and whatever. That's who cares? You know?
Totally.
Who cares? Honestly, I don't want to hang out with you if you're not like fun and a little bit positive emotionally. But that doesn't
drive
mean
a hard
there's
bargain.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be anything ugly between you and them. I think Chelsea V puts this really well. She said, I mean, he had a boundary and you disrespected it. I get that without context, it seems silly, but a boundary is a boundary. So YTA.
I'm also going to say I really dislike how now OP knows the reason. She understands like this trauma that's happened, and she's still kind of pulling excuses. She's going to Reddit. She's saying like, oh, he hasn't come out of his office. Like, you can slip a note under the door. You can leave a note with the food. Like, you can knock on the door. She just doesn't want to apologize.
Right. I think it's a good thing. I think people, when it comes to like people asserting their boundaries, you gotta respect people's boundaries. You're fucked up if you don't. If they state it, you gotta respect it.
Agree.
Especially when it is such an obvious boundary that is just about him, right? I mean, it can get dicey, right? Because you can get into kind of corner cases, but I think this is a very clear cut. Like, hey, me plus baby equals no. I don't want to engage with the baby. It's simple.
Yes,
it's simple.
Especially when you put it in terms of basic addition.
Yeah, LL, cool name. If someone doesn't want to hold a child and you plop the baby in their arms, YTA. I'm not going into the various reasons anyone can be concerned or afraid to hold a child, but if someone says no, then the answer is no.
Yeah, no means no. It's funny that we're teaching the parent of the baby that no means no.
That's so true. I really have never heard no means no. I've only heard it in a sexual context, but it's so true. And that I kind of like that as just a really succinct way of saying respect people's boundaries.
Woo.
Jeremy B, YTA, he had one rule and you put him in a position for a mundane thing. I can understand if it was an emergency and you had to grab the kid to get out of the house or something, but it was laundry. Yeah, I liked your hot coffee example because this was just a complete nothing was happening.
Yeah, it was just you just put your convenience over his boundary. It was not necessary.
We do have a dissenter here. Carrie Ann E writes, NTA, it may be personal, but heads up, babies are a touchy subject. It should have been mentioned. They are an asshole for it. Poor mom going through postpartum feelings, and I'm not going to officially shame her with the label for it, but she should have respected his wishes. People give boundaries for a reason. Okay, not entirely clear on. So this person is saying that the mom has postpartum depression.
I don't know. I think your hormones are going crazy regardless of whether you have postpartum depression. But
that's a good point because she did get really emotional, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we can't come for her for that. I guess, yeah, part of me was kind of wondering, like, yeah, maybe they should have explained this. But I guess at the end of the day, it's not his, responsibility to disclose this horrible thing that happened to him. I don't know. I guess I kind of can't imagine, like, marrying into a family and, like, not knowing this huge, like, thing that happened that probably affects the whole family. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very tough. I mean, I always go back to Chris Calogero and, the episode we did about grieving. And this is grieving, right? These were deaths. And
yeah,
it's very,
totally.
very difficult. And so I think you can't really judge a griever. I mean, look, some people really don't ever recover from the death of a loved one. I'm very fortunate. No one really very close to me has died.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a horrible thing. So
yeah.
I really can't judge him. I can't judge the way he's navigated this. The only
thing I was like gonna maybe say maybe the husband should have mentioned it at some point, but then again, it's on his place to mention, and I don't know. It's a can of worms that just got opened. So
It's tough too because look, if she's disrespecting this boundary, you know, she might not be good at keeping secrets. And some people
Fair.
don't want to know secrets. And I'll gladly say there's cases where people tell me something. I'm like, I actually don't want to know that. Like I don't want that in my head. I didn't need to know it. So I think, you know, just there is an answer for discretion. It doesn't have to be, you know, it's honestly none of her business. It really isn't. It really isn't.
You're right.
Nonetheless, I think we agree AITA for forcing brother-in-law to hold my baby while I was folding laundry. I think it's a hearty YTA.
Yes, it is a large one.
Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps the podcast. We get more listeners and more people can learn about assholes and my personal drama and how I'm fucking up my life.
You're doing okay right now.
I am. I'm on an upswing, but, you know, it's probably going to turn around soon. Also, if you want more of us, we'd love to see you on our Patreon. We actually recently hit 50 patrons. Pretty big milestone for us. Very excited
awesome.
about
Go
that.
us.
Join us in the Judge Judy's, patreon.com/AITA pod. We'd love to see you on there. We're doing call-in shows. We're doing all kinds of stuff, and we love to hear from you. So thanks for your support. Oh, and weekly bonus eps, twice as much content, folks.
Yes.
Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Now this is a classic. I mean, I don't know. I guess we did not cover this, right, Sarah? And this person
I feel like we
followed
didn't.
up.
It's an old one, and we got a request for it recently.
And we love that, by the way, people. So thank you, OP, for reaching out because we love to see it. And here we are. Let's do the damn thing. AITA for my social media blunder. My 30F girlfriend, 28F, and I have been dating about a year. So we got two women, 30 and 28. Now, we met at work, and we wanted to keep our relationship a secret to avoid nosy coworkers. She has told two of our coworkers. One figured it out, and the other she told without even checking with me first. I was fine with it, but it felt a little hypocritical for reasons discussed below. You see, we work at an LGBTQ organization, and that she is out to everyone at work and to her friends and family, so her desire to keep things secret wasn't out of fear from homophobia. Okay, so she's out. Partner is out. We work in different departments, and neither of us are in management roles or have any power over each other at work. Our company handbook says dating within the office is fine, and we both are aware that there are no professional consequences to our relationship. She has a short fuse. Okay. Just one example. 3 months in, she drunkenly flipped out on me after one of my best friend's weddings because I couldn't remember if she had seen a certain movie or not. I'm not kidding.
What?
Because of this short fuse... I know, right? What? Because of this short fuse, it's sometimes hard for me to assess when I am genuinely in the wrong and when she is possibly overreacting. Oh boy.
Ugh.
So here it goes. 6 months ago, we were sitting in her bed playing with those Instagram filters that make you look like a dog or a mime or whatever and laughing. We close the app, go get some lunch, and come back to her house 2 hours later. She goes to the bathroom and I pull up my phone to start scrolling. To my horror, I see that I'd accidentally posted one of the pictures of us with the silly filters to my Insta story. I must have hit a button without knowing it. Luckily, the picture was nothing scandalous. We're both in full regular clothes. We weren't kissing or cuddling or anything like that, just sitting there close to each other with a stupid filter on our faces. I immediately deleted the picture. She comes back into the room and I tell her what happened, apologizing profusely for my mistake. I felt terrible and know I should have been paying better attention. She freaks out a little. I understand because to her, it felt like a violation of her privacy. I wanted to do whatever I could to rectify the mistake and repair the harm. She eventually told me that it was okay because she knew it was a mistake, but continued to be anxious about it as the afternoon went on. She told me she was just feeling really sensitive and wanted me to stay there a little longer, which I was happy to do. Finally, it was around 5 or 6. I needed to go home as it was Sunday and I'd spent most of the weekend at her place. We say goodbye, went home. I get a text an hour or so later, tells me she can't stop thinking about the picture and she's really worried about it. I tried to console her, but she gets upset with me for leaving. She begs me to come back over. I do. I consoled her while she cried. We talked, made up, and I left around 10 p.m. that night. She was still sensitive about it for a few more days, which again is her right, and I own that I fucked up. I'm very confused. Cut to present day COVID times. We've been quarantining separately because she has to go into work and I have asthma, so tech is the only way we have to stay connected. One day, I'm feeling lonely and missing her a lot. I decided to make a playlist on Spotify to send to her. Having learned my lesson, I double-checked that it was private, and it was. It's totally private. I have 0 followers. No one can see it. I send her the playlist, and 10 seconds later, I get a text from her that says, please tell me this is private and nobody can see it. I told her it was, and that nobody follows me on Spotify, and that I have a private account. She says, no, you have to make the playlist private too. I had no idea about this and apologize. I immediately fixed it and then tried to explain that my account is private anyways, and no one will be able to see I made a playlist because nobody even follows me. She got so mad. Even though absolutely no one we know could see it. I get that this brought up old feelings from the Insta incident, but I also felt like it was a total overreaction. She said, I'm not mad. I'm just tired of this. It honestly really hurt my feelings because I was trying to do something nice. She totally flipped out, and ever since then, things have felt super distant. I never even got a thank you. I should also mention that she told 2 of our coworkers without my permission and blatantly said she felt justified in doing so. I'm turning this over in my head, trying to figure out if I'm in the wrong here. I know I am for the Instagram incident, but for the Spotify incident, it's really bothering me. I felt so rejected and hurt by it. I need to know if it's normal for somebody to get upset like this about things. I need to know if I really messed up here. AITA.
Oh, wow. I can really feel for OP. Yeah, I can just feel a lot of like internalized emotional abuse. I feel like it's just
I'm
really
so happy
coming
you went
out.
there.
What's up?
Well, yeah, I'm happy you dropped that. I was afraid to be so aggressive, but
No.
yeah, this
No way.
strikes.
I see a lot of myself in this. My past self.
What the fuck is going on? I mean, this is so bizarre.
I mean, I think we know what's going on. It's just insane.
Well, I guess my question, to not be coy here, I guess I would say, first of all, OP, I don't understand the emotional reactions of your SO. I mean, yeah, does she say the length of their relationship? We know they've been together at least 6 months, right? Because there's a 6 months gap in the submission.
Right.
But whatever. Look, OP, you're like racked with guilt over this complete non-incident. You posted a fucking Insta story. You deleted it.
Right. And it's like a goofy story.
A goofy story that was not incriminating at all.
Yeah.
Like, I understand and I also just don't understand the sadness and the tears. Like, if if the concern was that she was being outed prematurely, I guess I would think more, I'm straight, so I don't know. But like crying seems off to me, but then she is out. So what is she crying about? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. It's like they're not out at work, not because they're worried about any sort of retribution or anything like that, but because they don't want like nosy coworkers. Part of me is wondering if if she's also dating another coworker. Like, why is this so secretive? I don't know if that's probably a reach, but in any case, I mean, also, like, what was this playlist called? Unless it was called, like, Sarah's Sexy Love playlist for Rachel or whoever the fuck. It's a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, I mean, well, we do have a little bit of insight into this person's kind of emotional all over the places. I mean, they cried, right? Well, they said it was a short fuse. Yeah, was a drunken flip out because she hadn't seen a certain movie or not.
This just seems like something my ex-boyfriend would do, where like he would, I would forget something innocuous and he would turn it into like a huge thing. And I could see her doing that of like, oh, you really don't know me that well. I can't believe you don't remember this. Like, of course, I've seen this movie. We talked about it, blah, blah, blah.
Coming at someone for forgetting is a very odd move. I don't understand that. I mean, forgetting
it's super gaslighty.
It's super gaslighty. It's like, yo, I straight up forgot. It's like pretty innocent. Ludmilla S says, NTA, I'm a little suspicious. You've been together a while. There's no issue with work. You deleted the IG posts. What is her problem? Kimberly M.
What I'm going to say even also is like, I think OP really didn't even need to tell her about the Insta story.
Absolutely. I mean, well,
the fact that she did, I think, shows that she has a lot of maturity and she has a lot of emotional intelligence, which I feel like is reflected in a lot of the stuff that she says. Like, she says, I understand, to her it felt like a violation of her privacy, but then like she gets none of that back from her girlfriend.
Right, right. And well, there's no information about why this is such a secret. Just the fact that OP is comfortable with it feels odd to me, you know? I mean, I've literally been seeing this girl for 31 days. I only know that because we first
But
hooked
who's
up.
counting?
I'm not counting. We first hooked up January 1st, so it was an easy count.
There we go.
You know, but if she started to say like, hey, it kind of hurts my feelings that you're not telling more people about our relationship or something like that, then I would be like, okay, well, I'm just trying to go consciously slow because I'm known to jump in heads first into a pool with no water. So that's all I'm trying to do.
That's good imagery.
Yeah, it's not about you at all. It's just about I'm trying to be conscious and slow and whatever. But I don't. And that, look, this is 6 months.
But she is telling people. Like she's told people even when when the girlfriend, when OP didn't like it, and the girlfriend was like, "Well, too bad."
Bingo. Kimberly M. She's gaslighting you, and it's not okay. You are not her caretaker, and she needs to learn to manage herself. NTA. Anna Marie C says, this is definitely suspicious. Based on your schedules, is it possible she's dating, hooking up with someone else at work?
Who? See?
I get the Insta story thing, but the Spotify playlist is totally paranoid. NTA. Rick J, agreeing with you, seeing the abuse here. You should not feel this much fear of how your partner might react to minor things and issues.
Completely.
I love that. I'm actually coping with some of this myself. I have some remnants from my past relationships I have like controlling impulses, and I have really like kind of mean negative thoughts. The girl I'm seeing like will kind of spontaneously sing and stuff.
Aw,
and
that's
it's
so
super
cute.
It is really cute, and she's like really easygoing. And in my head, I'll be like, "Don't do that," and then I'm like, "Why? Well, like it's not even bothering me." And I have to like calm it down. It's because I think in my past relationships, like, you know, things felt very controlled and like emotionally subdued, and that's kind of how I felt. And so I realized like I have to like get rid of these weird controlling impulses.
Well, it's good that you recognize that.
I do. Yeah, it's you know, I mean, it's interesting too because it's like I felt like I wanted to be single longer, and I wonder too if part of that is that just like trying to get all these like little patterns and stuff out of my head.
I feel that.
Kind of try to cultivate the Danny Vega that I know I can be, but you know,
I love that. That's so inspirational.
Yeah, well, I'm trying, but she, you know, and I've always told this to her because like it has come up, and you know, that like I did feel like at a point where I needed to be single longer, but I was like, this is never about that you weren't worth it or anything. It's just that I worry about myself, that I'm not ready. It's like, you're totally worth it. I have no desire to be like out playing the field, blah, at this point.
I mean, I think that's like totally valid. To just want to work on yourself. It's definitely harder to do that. I mean, I think in a relationship.
Well, it's super hard now because there's no one fucking around, and you know, you pick up the vibes of the people you're with, and it's like, well, I'm with no one, so I'm picking up the vibes of my toilet and my fridge and the track. So it's a weird time to be alive, people. Sarah B writes, NTA at all in any of those situations, this is not a good person, and she's making you feel guilty for stupid shit, and she's gaslighting you. Run far away. I gotta actually retweet.
I got a cosign.
That's cute. Update via OP. Here we go. First of all, I want to thank everybody for their words of support. They meant a lot, and I need to hear them. One thing I want to clarify that I worded poorly. We are only secret at work. We met each other's friends, and I met her parents. Her only secretive issue is at work.
Suspicious.
I still think that not being able to post any picture of us together on social media after a year, she said she wanted to keep it secret as long as possible. I'm talking 2 to 3 years is extreme, and in the end, that isn't the type of relationship I want to be in or deserve.
No. That is bonkers. No.
Absolutely bonkers. And OP, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're like, well, I've met her friends, but she won't let me post on social media. It's like, well, that's not just work now, is it? Why is there a 2 to 3 year timeline? It's just very, very odd.
So, honestly, that is like straight up insulting. That's fucking insulting.
The outbursts I described, OP goes on, are only 2 of many, all equally small things. 95% have nothing to do with social media or the secret relationship. One of them was an emoji I used. She said it was sarcastic.
Oh my God, it was probably the peach emoji.
Oh boy.
Sorry, guys. That's a joke. We'll discuss at the end. Hold on.
We'll get to that. Getting mad at how I phrased something. She referred to a sports team saying we're playing at 12 p.m. today. Wow, how the fuck is she mad at we're playing at 12 p.m. today?
I'm sorry.
She got mad because she thought I automatically assumed she liked this team just because we're dating. Exhausting. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
What?
Anyways, I want
I'm
to update
tired.
that we broke up. I'm sad but relieved.
Good.
The replies to my original post served as validation for knowing this needed to end. I'm in therapy and working on standing up for myself more. Thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it.
Oh,
I'm
hooray.
actually kind of tearing up.
I heard that.
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, did we do
wholeheartedly.
it? Did we finally do it?
We did the thing. OP, thank you
Oh my
so
God,
much
we
for...
made Danny cry on the pod.
Well, I see a lot of my past relationships in this, and
Same.
it is very fascinating because it often is small things, and then the confusing part of it, right, is that it starts with a small thing. Then they have this reaction that's, a quote unquote overreaction. But one of the things they'll do is come back to you and then be like, well, why are you getting so upset? This is such a trivial thing. And you're like,
Yeah.
and then you're just confused because you're like, but wait, you were the one who's having a big reaction, not me. And then and OP, I want to say, you're going to have more and more clarity as time goes. Do not, and I use this word, exactly, this is a word I want to use, which is relapse. Do not relapse. Do not contact this person. Do not re-enter what I perceive as probably a cycle of confusion and gaslighting, as other people said. It will only get better with time. You got to go complete no contact. This person is toxic as fuck.
Agree. I mean, this is not a person that I think is going to be good to have in your life, not as a friend, not in any capacity. Also, don't be too hard on yourself because, I don't know, emotional abuse is really serious, and it's just it's really hard because someone can just make you question your own sanity, make you really feel like you don't know which way is up. So I really do commend you for getting out and realizing what was happening. And I think you're doing a good job standing up for yourself, and keep doing it.
Yeah, big recommend here on Codependent No More. I mean, I'm obviously projecting a lot onto your situation, but maybe read the old sample on Amazon.com for free and then buy it from a local independent bookseller. Codependent No More. Because somebody else, I don't know if I read that comment, said this is a caretaker thing, and it might be that. So that book kind of...
What, because OP's a caretaker?
Yeah, well, a caretaker is kind of jargon for people in relationships with... I think the way they set it up in the book, there's another book called Stop Caretaking for the Borderline or Narcissist.
Ooh.
Yeah, and, I'm not trying to diagnose anyone, but really I think it boils down more to people who are... have some kind of personality disorder or maybe some kind of compulsive behavior. That's more how Codependent No More defines it. It's not necessarily an alcoholic or anything like that. So those are two books I read and found very helpful. Again, I'm not trying to play the diagnosis game, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, in any case, thank you to the person who requested this.
Absolutely.
This was a great situation. And I don't want to say congrats to OP, but good job. We're rooting for you.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like this is a hugely amazing decision, and you got to really do the work right now and figure out what went down with this thing, because you don't want to get in another relationship like this. And that was my great insight, is that I actually realized that I was in a series of relationships where I was the caretaker, and I really, when that clicked with me, and I saw 3 in a row, I had to really own the fact and be like, oh, this is me. This is actually
that's
me.
interesting. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, because you go, well, this was shitty, and I was kind of around people that were not allowing me to be my best self. But I can fix me. You can't fix anyone else, but you actually can fix yourself. So
That's very true.
another book that's very quick read that I talked about, Boundaries After a Pathological Relationship. Now that book really applies to everyone and anyone. I really recommend that. And someone
that's a
reached,
good one.
yeah, and somebody reached out, Dorley, who always messages me. I love your messages, Dorley, saying pathological means bad. It really does mean diseased, bad, but you get it. Negative relationships. TA for my social media blunder. OP, a resounding not the asshole, and they are.
100%.
Quickly, we'll just go into the Peach situation. I played
Yes.
my friend Jade had a birthday. By the way, I'm a big fan of Jade. Jade's game company, Pillbox Games. Very recommend.
Oh, this is the friend who made, oh my God, I want to say the game with the mice, but I just feel like that's insulting. But the one who came on the call-in, right?
Yes. Jade has this company, Pillbox Games. We had him on to promote a game. Their newest game is Mud, which I think the Kickstarter just ended. But Mud is a great game, but I'm pretty sure you could buy Side Effects right now, which I love. It's a very casual kind of card game. You play with like 4 people, and you give each other like psychological disorders and stuff. It's a fantastic game.
Sounds like what we do.
Jade is like the game master, and I attended his birthday party, which was like a quiz game show or trivia show that his wife wrote.
Oh, that's so cool.
So well done. Every question had like a title, and the questions were really clever. Anyway, I'm totally I fucking suck at trivia because I don't know anything. I know everything about personality disorders and nothing else. And so anyway, I finally buzz into the question, what does the peach emoji represent on Twitter or whatever. I'm totally like destroying the question. It was much more cleverly worded, but I then buzz in and I said, vagina.
I can't believe it.
And that was 0% right. And that is my moment of zen. Very painful.
Okay, I'm very curious because did you just have like a brain fart or did
Yes.
you honestly think that it represented the vagina?
No, I knew it meant butt, and once I saw the peach emoji, I was like, that's so obviously butt, and I knew the right answer. I don't know where I got lost. I guess.
Oh no.
I really don't know. I have no idea why this happened. I haven't really figured it out.
That is too funny.
Maybe I'm obsessed with vagina. I don't know.
I mean, aren't we all?
There you go. Aren't we all? Thank you. They're going to call me a pervert. Well, guys, that is the app. I hope you guys have a great week. And let me just say again, we love to get even a follow-up. If I ever don't respond to your DMs or something, follow up. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get distracted or whatever. I spilled Mountain Dew all over my body or, whatever. So we love a follow up. Never feel like you're contacting us too much. I mean, unless you are, but no, thank you, OP, for like getting on us to cover this. It was really rewarding and great. And we're really happy for you. And we will see you guys next Monday morning.
Bye.